Well, it's good to get out here with the win. I thought Kansas had a nice plan. The delay actually worked to our advantage, I think. Gave us a chance to make some adjustments on the running game. We had mentioned in last week that they do a nice job each week of coming up with a plan to run the football. They had a nice plan in the first quarter. During the delay, we were able to make some adjustments, and our defense played really good. Until the end, they brought the other quarterback in and began to run the football and use some play pass. And we got out of our gaps a little bit and they made some plays. But for the most part, the defense played really well. Offensively, we played just okay. We have to do a better job of sustaining drives. We had a number of chances to put the game out of reach, and we did take advantage of it. And good football teams will do that. But during a season, you'll have games where you don't play as well as you would want or as you think you should. And if you win those games, that's a positive. There's been a number of games over the last few years where we were ranked and we played teams that were ranked. And the anticipation was it was going to be a close game until the end, and we blew those teams out. And at the end, it still counts the same. Well, today for our team, we have a lot of work. We've got to get better in certain areas and improve. But to win close games on the road is a positive. As I mentioned in the press conference earlier in the week, we're now on a pretty good stretch here, so we've got to get back and get to work and get ready for the next game.
It looks like you need to get healthy, Mike. You're missing some receivers late, Jeremy Smith today, some other guys.
We'd like to get everybody healthy. One thing that we mentioned to the team is college football is about the next guy's got to be ready to play. And we would like to be out there with our more mature starters, but if they can't go, we've got to play the young guys. And so we played a number of guys today that were young and inexperienced, but they practice and they have to learn on their own.
Wes was dressed. How seriously was he playing or starting today?
Well, we weren't going to start him, but he could play if we needed him.
You guys handled Kansas pretty good the last couple of years. You can tell them to the bully face, and you got to take everybody serious and the challenge will be serious. I think any of that did in the play today because they've been so bad the last 2 years. They didn't bring their A game.
I would like to say no. But it's one of those circumstances that I don't know if anybody really knows. I guess the best way to answer was they practiced pretty well, and I thought their intensity was good. That's really the only way that we can gauge what their thought process is. Unfortunately, when you have a number of players that are, and I've said this before, this is an unusual team because we got some really mature guys and we have some really young guys. They're split pretty good. First-year guys that have to play some. So, in situations like this, when you're more mature, you kind of push through it. But when you're young in certain areas, that adjustment is more difficult. So, part of what you're saying is going to be true, but I would like to think that they've practiced well enough to not feel that way. But, you never really know.
Like Kansas had a good plan for Randolph.
They were more physical up front in the running game than we were. Just from an outsider looking in. I've seen the tape, I don't have the end zone view, but it looked like over the last 4 years, 3.5 years now, in this style of offense, there's been certain games that we played that we just pounded people on the ball, even when maybe even us or other people didn't think we could. And then there's certain games where it just looked bad. And in my opinion, today it just looked bad. And I think they got up the field. I think they got our shoulders turned. We couldn't get off on backers. Now there was a stretch there where they dropped safeties way down because of the downpour. And there, I think, we understand that as coaches that until the delay, we were somewhat limited in our ability to do what benefits our offense. But up front, in my opinion, they not win this, but they won that.
Lynn Sharp has won games for you in different ways than today, but today I'm taking it more or less, kind of relaxed.
Yeah, he was, he punted the ball really well for us today. He had 2 punts that went way back there, and then he had another one over here that was a good one. He also made a long field goal, and he missed a long one, and he was back. So, he's always benefited us. And at the end there, when they hit him, you know, the call with the way his leg was and everything, it's, you know, it's a personal foul. And so, I can't deny that when that happened, I wasn't glad that we didn't have to go back out there and try to stop it. Their offense has some momentum at that point in time, and in this game, momentum is a really big factor, especially when you're on the road. Unfortunately, at times, that depends on how they play us. And certain guys can get the balls. We really can't predicate who gets it a number of times in this offense. As I said before, there's some pros and cons with this system. That's one of the areas that you would like to say, I want Tracy Moore or Charlie. I want them to get at least 8 or 10 catches, and those young guys will bring them along slow. You can't always make that happen in this system unless you retrain the quarterback.
Talk about the play, if you would, then, if we
Long run.
ends up being
Just a base play, and that's kind of what I was referring to. That's a base play in our system. There's about 3 or 4 pass plays that we start with in this offense. And we run them over and over and over and over. We're good, and that's one of them. And he made a guy miss, and then Josh Stewart made a great block. From what I think I saw on their side of the field, and when he did that, he triggered him. And Charlie's really fast now when he gets going. Somewhat deceiving, but he probably could be under 4 or 5 when he gets rolling. And he's also strong and he can carry his pass. So once he got out there, I was pretty sure that they had a hard time catching him.
You say Wes was available. Is there any consideration of making a switch at any point?
We could have played Wes if we thought we needed him, but the best way to answer that question is Wes is a young football player. He's got a long career ahead of him, and we want to put him out there when he's ready to go. If he would have been out there today, he would have had some limitation just based on the recovery from his injury. If he would be a 5th-year senior, and this was his last go-round, and we said, listen, we want to play, you know, how do you feel? Then we may have played him. But that's how we came to that decision.
Like you haven't struggled on offense very much in the last 6 or 7 years. It looks like it was a serious struggle out there. Is it because you just weren't able to throw it down the field very much, or?
Yeah, it was a serious struggle, and it's painful for me to watch. And the reason why is just what you said, John. I mean, we've been fortunate over a number of years. We just kind of roll out there on offense. So it frustrates me because that's my background. But as I said earlier, when you have a mixture of some young players and then some veterans and they're not really in between, unfortunately at times that can happen. But I think the most honest answer to that question is they outplayed us up front, in my opinion. I think when we watch the tape, we're going to see that because they outplayed us up front, that limited our ability to run the football. Then when you have a downpour, you're somewhat limited throwing the ball down the field. Now, that wasn't a factor at all in the second half. In the second half, I just think that they played better than we did in front.
You have experienced these delays. It's not your first go-around with these delays. I don't know. I hate to think of, you said it helps you from a strategy standpoint.
It helped us today because they had a nice running scheme, as I mentioned earlier. We were able to make that adjustment. When we came back out late, you noticed we were really effective stopping the run. And our guys made an adjustment to what they had was a really neat little scheme. And driving to the game today, I thought one thing that we should do when we have a good indication that we're going to have strong storms, we've known this since Tuesday or Wednesday, we should pack food for the players. You do that, and we didn't do that.
Well, you didn't
No,
know.
I mean, it's it's like you know you should do it, you don't do it. Well, I knew I should have done it, and I'm sitting here today going, that wasn't very smart because this delay could have went on for a long time. Our guys need to eat, we can order out and all that, but that's not the answer. So, anytime you're in a unique situation, you try to find a solution to make it better next time. And when we know there's going to be really strong storms and there's a chance of delay, you got to throw some food on the bus and have it for the players because if it extends another hour, they got to eat. So I got to eat.
Wasn't anything like last year, what did you do during this delay?
Just work on something. I don't know how long this delay was, but
Hour 19.
was it that long? I didn't realize it was that long. So, the defense made some big adjustments, offensively, we just talked about where we thought we needed to go. We hadn't had been running any plays, I think 17 plays at that time, so we hadn't really got off on that one.
Mike, is it fair to say you're gonna play at a much higher level from this point forward, considering who you've got left on the schedule?
I think the one thing that's, that is true is that unfortunately, in college football, sometimes you don't play as well as you want to, and some weeks you play a lot better. And that's just at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old guys. But there's no doubt that next week, we're gonna have to play better. One thing we didn't do, I don't think we turned the ball, did we? What's that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the tip, right, okay, so we did okay with turnovers, but we're certainly gonna have to play better in order to make a run here at the end. And then even next week, that's what